Picture this, two men walk into the same building, the same floor, the same job title, roughly the same salary. The first, he's in a shiny, sagging suit, pointy plastic shoes with a backpack thrown over one shoulder. He looks as if he's dressed because HR told him to, not because he understands where he is. The second, he's in a simple, well-cut jacket. He has solid leather shoes and has a real shirt with a collar that actually stands up. Nothing screams, nothing begs, he just looks right. The senior people in that building see both of them. No one has said a word yet, but in their heads, the file is already open. That one looks like he's grateful to be here. That one looks like he's going somewhere. If you think clothes are just fabric, you're missing one of the quietest tests in every serious room you walk into. You're watching The Virtuous Man, where I train ambitious men in character, identity, and self-mastery, and help them build a life and an aesthetic that they actually want to inhabit. This is not a 10 style hacks video, and it's not about dressing like you're rich for social media. Think back to the last room where it actually mattered how you showed up. A meeting, a dinner, a date with a woman you respect. Did your appearance quietly say, I understand this world, I belong here, or I hope this is good enough? Most professionals dress to fit in with their colleagues. They copy the office costume. They hit the bare minimum. But your colleagues don't promote you. The men above them do. The clients do. The families do. In the next 10 minutes, I want to do 3 things. First, show you how refined men use clothing to quietly signal status, stability, and future potential. Second, show you the 2 archetypes I see everywhere. The cheap uniform man who never quite arrives, and the cultivated man who looks like he could step into any room in the building. Third, 3 simple experiments you can run so you can start shifting from one to the other. If you're happy being read as just another man in a shirt, this isn't for you. If you care about how you're being read by serious people and refined women, stay with me. Let's start with rooms that actually matter. I'm not talking about your living room or the bar down the road. I mean the places where decisions and impressions carry weight. Boardrooms, galleries, chambers, private clubs, serious family gatherings. In those spaces, people are judging you in seconds. They're not counting buttons or comparing fabrics. They're asking quiet questions in the back of their mind. Has he moved in places like this before? Will he embarrass us in front of someone important? If I attach my life to him, will I regret it? They're not just looking at your face. They're looking at your fit, your shoes, your posture. Whether your clothes actually live here or whether they've been dragged up a level just for the day. And here's the uncomfortable bit. You can be brilliant. You can have all the potential in the world. But if you look like you wandered in from a budget chain store, no one's going to stop the meeting and ask, excuse me, are you secretly exceptional? They will just treat you as background. You're not dressing for Instagram. You're dressing for people who can actually move your life forward. Those people notice aesthetic, even if they pretend not to. Almost every professional man I see in cities falls into one of 2 camps. The first is what I call the cheap uniform man. He wears a suit because the job requires it, but his suit is thin and shiny. His shoulders float, and his trousers crease and puddle around his shoes. The shirt is almost see-through, the tie knot is messy, and the pattern is loud in all the wrong ways. On his feet, he's wearing tired old shoes. They're scuffed and creased and haven't been polished in months. His bag is either bulky or a tired old laptop case. Everything about him says, I did everything I had to do to not get told off. He's not sloppy enough to be reprimanded, but he's not impressive enough to be remembered. Senior people don't hate him, they just file him away as junior, average, someone I wouldn't put in front of a difficult client, and someone I wouldn't give a lot of responsibility to. He dresses to blend in with the teams, but he never thinks about the rooms above the teams. The second archetype is the cultivated man. He's still in a uniform, just a different kind. His suit or jacket is not flashy, it's simply cut to his frame. The shoulders sit where they should. The sleeve shows just enough cuff. The trousers fall in a clean line. His shirts have structure. The collar stays up and and the fabric has some weight. The patterns are subtle, or he stays with a simple white or pale blue. His shoes are simple, well made, good leather, rounded toe, and look like they've been polished fairly recently. His accessories are simple yet elegant. Maybe one watch, maybe one ring. That is enough. He looks like he can leave the office, walk into a private dining room, and no one would think who let him in. Men who grow up in strong families or hold positions of status or power see him and think, he understands the temperature of this room. I could bring him out to dinner with us. I could sit him in front of clients and not be nervous. He dresses not for his desk, but for the rooms he expects to inhabit. That is the difference. Your appearance is always saying three things: how you govern yourself, what world you belong to, how far you're likely to go. First, self-governance. A cheap and collapsing suit says, I did the bare minimum they asked for and I stopped there. A considered and well-fitting uniform says, I hold myself to a standard that is higher than the company dress code. You don't need a luxury budget for this. You need fewer pieces carefully chosen and the humility to get pieces altered. Senior people won't articulate this, but they'll feel it. If he's cutting corners on his own presentation, where else is he cutting corners? Second, social world. Most men dress to fit in with their peers. They look down the row of desks and copy what they see. They ask, will I stand out too much? That's the wrong question. The right question is, if the client's CEO walks in, if a partner appears, if I'm invited somewhere nice for dinner after work, will I look like I belong there or with the interns? Your colleagues are not the ceiling of your life. If you only care about how they see you, you will stay at their level. Dress with the eyes of the people above you in mind. The people who could hire you, fund you, marry into you, not just the ones who share your Slack channel. Third, future potential. This part is brutal, but it's true. Higher circles are always making bets on your future. Not just is he good now, but if we invest in him, will he rise to the level of our world or not? The cheap uniform says he is grateful to be here. He is not thinking in terms of legacy, he's thinking in terms of survival. The cultivated uniform says he expects to grow. He's already rehearsing for a higher stage. In serious families and old firms, people don't just see the man in front of them. They see the potential husband, partner, father, in-law, or they don't. Your aesthetic is part of that calculation. Let's connect this with the outcomes you actually care about. Money and work first. Decision makers have very little time. They cannot psychometrically test every junior they meet, so they use quick proxies. One of those proxies is, does he look like he understands stakes and standards? If you look like a boy in a rented costume, they won't say anything. They will just not think of you when a real responsibility appears. Your appearance quietly affects who gets trusted in front of clients, who gets pulled into serious rooms, and who is thought of as the face of the company. Now relationships, refined women, educated, serious about their career or family, read your aesthetic faster than you think. They're not asking, is he trendy? They're asking, can I bring this man into my world without having to apologize for him? Into a nice restaurant, into a work function, into a family event with people who have standards. Cheap shine and lazy fit says he hasn't grown into himself yet. Quiet, well-kept, appropriate clothing says he's already living at the level I expect my life to be at. Attraction might start with your face or your charm. Long-term respect starts when she sees that you can carry yourself through her world without making it feel smaller. Finally, status and standing. Over time, consistent aesthetic becomes part of your myth. He always looks put together. He never looks out of place. He belongs wherever you put him. That reputation affects who invites you, who introduces you, whose name comes up when higher level opportunities open. You're not just buying cloth, you're buying how other people treat you. None of this is as modern as it looks. In older traditions, there was something called decorum, the idea that outer form should match inner role and setting. A man did not dress well to be vain. He dressed well to honor the occasion, and to signal to others that he understood where he was. A consistently disordered exterior was read as a sign of a disordered interior. Lazy dress suggested lazy thought or lazy morals. Modern psychology confirms what they already intuited. There's a field called enclothed cognition. It shows that what you wear alters not just how others see you, but how you behave. In one study, people asked to wear a painter's coat behaved more creatively. When the same coat was described as a lab coat, their attention and accuracy increased, as if they'd borrowed the mindset of a scientist. Nothing changed in the fabric, only in the meaning. Men who grow up in high-level environments often understand this without needing language for it. They put boys in proper shoes and jackets early. Not because they're obsessed with rules, but because they know when you dress like a man, you start acting more like a man. We like to say, don't judge a book by its cover. Nice sentiment, but human beings are visual, symbolic creatures. We read covers first. We decide whether to open the book based on what we see. This is not about pretending to be someone you're not. It's about bringing the outside of your life into line with the man you're actually trying to become. I'm not going to build your entire wardrobe on YouTube. That's the kind of work I do with men properly inside the Virtuous Man. But if you want to start shifting from the cheap uniform man toward the cultivated man, try these 3 experiments. First, replace the costume. Take your current smart clothes out of the wardrobe. The suit, the shirts, the smart shoes. Look at them in daylight. Be honest. Do they look like something a junior grabbed in a rush, or do they look like they could sit next to what partners and clients wear? Over the next few months, every month, choose one weak link and upgrade it. Maybe it's the shoes. Buy one pair of solid, well-made leather shoes. Maybe it's one jacket. Get it altered so the shoulders and sleeves actually fit you. Maybe it's a shirt. One proper collar, one real fabric. Wear that upgraded piece every time it makes sense. Notice how you feel when you walk into rooms. Notice if senior people hold your eye a fraction longer. Second, study the high room. Over the next few months, anytime you're in a higher caliber space, like a hotel lobby, a good restaurant, a theater, or a private event, take 10 seconds and look for the 3 best dressed older men. Not the loudest, the most settled. What are they wearing? What colors? What shoes? How simple is it? You're training your eye away from the algorithm and toward the aesthetic of men whose lives you may actually want. Third, write your future self's wardrobe note. One evening, sit down with a pen and picture yourself 5 years from now. Not in fantasy, in a realistic, serious room you would like to belong in. Maybe a boardroom, a private dining room, a family party with a woman you respect. Write a short paragraph describing what you were wearing in that scene. The jacket or lack of jacket, the shirt, the trousers, the shoes, the watch, the coat. Make it specific enough that you would recognize that man if he walked past you. Then ask one question: what's one small change I could make that moves me closer to that image? You are no longer buying random pieces, you are building the wardrobe of the man you want to be. Let me know in the comments what aesthetic or signature style you're going to build from today. So, ask yourself quietly, if you keep dressing exactly as you do now, what story are you telling about who you are and where you're going? Would the men above you and the women you admire see a man in formation or a man who stopped at the bare minimum? You don't need a huge budget to change that story. You need standards and the courage to raise your aesthetic to match the life you claim you want. Start with the 3 experiments in this film. Watch how you carry yourself differently and watch how serious people respond. If you want to go further into appearance, status, and identity as part of becoming a well-formed man, you'll find more in 3 places. The other films on this YouTube channel, on Gravitas, on temperance, on high-value women, which are all part of the same project. The Virtuous Man reading list, if you want to train the mind and taste behind a serious aesthetic. And when you're ready, the deeper work inside the Virtuous Man, where we build not only your wardrobe, but your entire life architecture around the man you are meant to become. Most men will go through their careers looking like overgrown interns. If you are still here, you are probably not meant to be one of them. My job is to make sure you don't waste that difference. I'll see you in the next one.